Moriore te whānau, no mai, hoki mai, welcome back to the Practice Run, your frontline pass of the harder sports action, brought to you by 99 Dreams. Inspiring others to chase their dreams with your hosts, Rawiri, Tu and Sam Tirangi. We're diving deep into the thrilling world of the NRL and Rugby League today, and who knows where the game will take us tomorrow. From the try line to the sideline, we've got you covered.
Strap in as we tackle the big plays, the game-changing moments, and the stories that define legends. Whether you're a seasoned vet or this is your first hit-up, the Practice Run is for everyone. Every run, every tackle, every win, experience the rush with us.
With exclusive insights, couch analysis, and a touch of humour, the Practice Run is here to keep you entertained, informed, and part of our practice squad. Because here, every practice run takes us one step closer to glory.
The Practice Squad, where every listener is MVP, powering our play every episode, every day.
And lastly, we just want to give a huge shout out to 99 Dreams for sponsoring our episodes. They keep the lights on, they keep the engine running, and they keep it fun for us. So if you want to go and support 99 Dreams, check out 99dreams.co.nz. Check out the website there. And to you guys, the fans who listen to us worldwide, thank you all so much for tuning in each week. Your guys' continued support of us and our channel is, we can't thank you guys enough. So from Germany to United States to China to Australia to Russia, I'm trying to do this all off the top of the head, so if I do forget you, please forgive me. To Australia, Aotearoa, Stewart Island, I know you're different, you're not really one of us, but you're that little... Anyway, thank you all for listening. No, I don't know any foreign language, sorry. Kia ora, shot whānau. We've got a big lineup for you guys today. It is our review episode, Tuesday afternoon. We are running back over round 26. Sheesh, the season's almost over. One more round to go at Tefano. So we'll be breaking down each of the games in round 26. We'll also have our team of the week and our practice runs power rankings. But before we do any of that, we'll have GM mode. And before we kick GM mode off, ladies and gentlemen, what we do here is a little thing called scissor, rock, paper. And the scissor beats the paper beats the rock beats the scissors. So if you don't know the rules, it's pretty simple. I just explain them. We just go 3, 2, 1, shoot. Winners win, losers lose. We don't keep track. We just do what we do. All right, brother, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. 3, 2, 1, shoot. And up.
Hey.
Brah, that's 3 for 3 now.
Alrighty.
Ooh. All right.
I never think past the first one.
Neither. I always think that I'm eliminated after that first one. All right. 3,
Okay.
2. Are you ready? Hold on.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go. And up.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I knew it.
Yes.
I don't like it. The minute I
Let's
threw it,
go.
wasn't there.
I thought you were going to pull scissors on that first throw, man. It was crazy. I was like, oh, no, we're done.
I don't know. I had paper in my head like the whole way. And then when you went paper, I was like, oh, I've got nothing. It was a while ago. I was all on that one. When you tied, I was like, I got nothing for the second one. I got it.
It is what it is,
What
it is. Hey, bruh. Well, hey, man, before we kick into the show, how was your weekend, man? What did you get up to?
It was pretty cool. Didn't really get up to much. Just chilled. I've been playing more of the game lately. Been looking at this game. I don't know if you know Wukong Myth or something. Been thinking about whether to get it on PlayStation. So it's the one about the monkey, it's about the Chinese, one of their like stories or legends. It's everywhere and it looks super cool. The graphics looks mean. Not really my type of game. I think it's more of an RPG. Probably more of your game than mine, but
yes,
it looks super cool. It's got me thinking about it. Celebrated Father's Day, obviously, on the weekend. Just had a car with the old man and the fans. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But other than that, man, no, we haven't been up to much. Just relaxing and just, it's pretty much it. Watching league and playing the game, really. What about you? What you been up to?
Yeah, brother, same as you, man. Just, Father's Day Sunday just gone, so we had KFC for dinner with the old man. It was good. Also, the start of whitebait season, so my brother and him went out there today. Not today. Oh, they have been going today, yesterday, and since Sunday, really. Just trying to scoop up as much whitebait as they can. For those international viewers that don't know, whitebait is kind of like a delicacy here in Aotearoa. You can only fish it for a small season of the year because it's, not endangered, but it's not as healthy as it once was. So yeah, and it has a certain breeding cycle. So the window's open now, so they're out there white baiting. Yeah, I love me some RPGs, brother. Send us the link. We might have to check that one out. I've been looking at 2K. I didn't buy last year's. Normally I would because it's the Kobe edition, but I was like, I'm not buying into that money machine. But I'm looking at the features. I'm gonna wait until it comes out and people play it and give their full review before I actually dive into it. And to be honest, I'll probably just wait till it gets free on PlayStation Store. But it's those games that I like just to figure out how, because in the off season I was thinking maybe we can, create our own version of this game, just the theory of it. The idea, we'll come up with some badges, we'll try and rate most of the players, give them an overall, and then we'll come up with some key mechanics and features that this game should have, that developers can just take our IP and run with it, so we get a good rugby league game, man. Because that's what we've been missing these years, is a strong rugby league game. Where was I? I had a train of thought, lost the train of thought pretty quickly. But while I'm looking for it, we'll dive into MyGM mode. This week is Tu's week. Oh, that's one thing I was going to say. I spent most of the weekend as well defending my decision to trade Tino in last week's GM mode to the Broncos because someone was disgruntled because he's struggling with his own teams. But that's neither here nor there. We'll find more about that next week's MyGM mode. We'll see if this man can come up with strategies to build his lineup as strong as ours. Well, from one pro to another pro, I'll hand things over to Tu. He can give a breakdown, and then we'll get back to the amateur series next week, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, so it was my turn to do my GM mode. First one I've done in a while, and not gonna lie, I left it a little bit last minute. I was can't remember what we were doing. It wasn't until we were talking about it in the chat, really, or the chat was going off. I had looked and I just remembered, dang it. But luckily, so for those that don't know, the team I got given was the Cronulla Sharks. One of the easier things about doing this GM mode is that half my team was already gone before I got to it. So if you've been following the MyGM series, which I hope you have been, you would know that my forward pack pretty much got dismantled. But it's all good, We
call it adjusted, brother. Adjusted.
Yeah. It's fine, you got to work with what you got, and then obviously one of my main halves got sent away as well. So we've been trying to figure out what to do. And the biggest headache I had with this team is whether to build around Nico Hines or to get rid of him. Now what would you say? Talking with the other boys, I think I was the only one that was going to keep him. The other two were ready to trade him instantly, both thinking he's not that guy. I still have a bit of faith in Nico Hines. I think that when he's the number one guy and he's running the show, he is still elite. And I think he's still learning his craft. He was, coming through a half, went to Melbourne Storm, was a utility guy there for ages, the backup fullback. Gets moves to the Sharks. Everyone thought he was going to be the fullback there. The first thing they did was made him the halfback. First season there, he wins Dally M. Just has a season that no one saw coming, really. And then the next year after that, solid year. This year's been pretty up and down for him. I think he's battling a few things. Origin just didn't go his way. Highly doubt he'll get another shot at it. And ever since then, he's kind of been on the slide. But anyway, I decided to hold on to him. So Nicholas Hines is not going anywhere. He is the focal point of this team. Obviously, the big one is Alofiana Blake coming over from the Wars. I never have to do that one. That one happened in real life. And to the Wars, we thank you. I mean, obviously, they're getting James Fisher-Harris anyway, so who cares? But this is what I ended up doing with the team. We'll just go with it. So at my fullback, this is done via trade, so I got Scott Drinkwater. The trade for that was where is it? It was Atkinson and Crossland for Drinkwater. That one got approved. If you're wondering how we got Crossland, he was part of the forward pack for forward pack trade as part of the Knights rebuild, I believe, where half of my forward, well, pretty much my whole forward pack went there for half of that one. So that's how Crossland ended up with the Sharks.
Approved it.
I did approve it. Yeah.
It was Saifidi, Jacob Saifidi, Phoenix Crossland, Adam Elliott, Jake Hetherington, and Tyson Gamble for Royce Hunt, Oregon Kafusi, Cam McInnes, and Liam Isan.
Yes. That was back in the early days when you pretty much could do whatever you want. We forgot that, like, you have to actually rebuild the team after that. Lessons learned.
And that's what makes us professional GMs now, G.
It is. So, yes. So, Scott Drinkwater, he is now the fullback for the Sharks. If you're wondering where is Will Kennedy, he is also still on the team. And if you watched, when did you do the Titans? Last week, eh?
Yeah.
And if you watched last week's episode, you would also know that I also have Keanu Kinney on the team. So we've got 3 fullbacks. They're all on the team. Scott Drinkwater, just in this one, he's starting at 1, but honestly, it could change. He might end up as a number 6. Kennedy might end up as 1. Kinney, 14th, 18th man. I mean, I got 3 positions there, 3 fullbacks. I don't know what to do with them. Just putting it out there.
Kennedy over Kinney is ridiculous.
Oh, it's just, I don't know. It's there. I'm just saying for the GMs in the future, if you need a fullback, I've got 3 really good ones.
I feel like every team's got 3.
The issue is Kennedy and Kinney are like fullbacks.
Yeah,
like,
they're not utility.
Drinkwater can at least go into the halves, but look, it's there. I've got them 3. They're all in my top 30. They're not going anywhere unless it's via trade. My wingers is I've kept Sony Katoa. You would know that Mulitalo is now on the Titans. I was looking to make a trade, but I didn't decide I would just sign Blake Wilson from the Bulldogs. He is a free agent. I think in real life, Para are trying to get him. So I figured, why not just come over here, man? Good player. And if you're wondering what happened to Sam Stone Street, I just haven't seen enough of him. Obviously, I watch the Bulldogs every week, so I see what Blake Wilson does. Old Stone Street, I haven't really watched him. He's still on the team. He's still in the 30. So again, other GMs, if you're looking for a winger, I've got one for you. In these centres, I've just kept it stock standard. We're going with Jesse Raymond and Kalen Iro. No need to change there. They're both just Jesse's proven. And Kalen might be winning Rookie of the Year, I think, or he'll at least be in the running. It's the halves. Nicholas Hines, he's the guy for this team. I needed a 6 who... My thinking behind the 6 was that I needed someone who wasn't going to try call the shots or wasn't going to try to take control. Like, know your role. Nico is the Batman on this team. I need someone who's Robin and is going to stay Robin. So I actually went with Tyson Gamble. I figured he would just sit out on the side. He's also a bit niggly. You know, he's like what do they call, like a pest? So just a different type of player. Someone who can just do his job. Really, I'm not looking for him to do anything other than his fucking job. Don't try to get fancy.
I think the word you're looking for, G, is grub.
Don't try. Oh, yes. That's definitely the word I'm looking for. Yeah, he's a grub. But I think he'll fit in nice on this team. Especially when you've got the man at number 8, Alofiana Blake. I feel as though if he's on your team as a half and a 9, you can be a little bit more of a grub because that ain't going to do shit with Fanua Blake's on your team. No one want to mess with that guy. So you pretty much could do a little bit extra. Alofiana Blake is partnered up with Jacob Saifidi, obviously coming from the Knights. At 9, we have Jeremy Marshall-King. He was part of like the 3-team trade, eh? It was like, I can't even remember the trade, but I'm pretty sure there were like 4 hookers or 3 hookers that all switched.
Nah, Jeremy you changed your mind. You just went straight swap Blake Brayley for Jeremy Marshall-King because you were going to go Moser for JMK and then you just ended up switching for Blake Brayley.
Oh, yes. Well, there you go then. It was a straight up swap with the Dolphins GM. Great guy. I hear that guy. Heard is pretty cool. So, yes, he approved of that one. There it is. So Jeremy Marshall King is now your number 9. I think he's good. He's a running 9. And he'll get quick play the balls off the back of Alofiana, Blake, Jacob Saifidi. Put him behind a dominant forward pack. I think he can do a lot. So that was like the thinking behind that one. In the second row, we still have Tay Walton and Marata Nuakure came over from the trade with the Waz. And the next trade I did was with the number 13. I've gone with more of a ball-playing 13 and someone that can play multiple positions. So we've actually gone with Max Plath. The trade for him was so Max Plath coming from the Dolphins again. And it is for Adam Elliott and Jack Hetherington. So Adam Elliott, he also plays lock, and Jack Hetherington, they are going towards the Dolphins. So that is the starting 13. Moving to the bench now. We've got Latu Fainu, who is coming over from the Tigers for Braden Trindle. He can play multiple positions. I think I view him as like the Dylan Walker type ball playing 14 or Bailey Hayward in that type of mold, but he's also a big body. So I feel as though he can get the ball moving as well. And then we still got Talakai. He wasn't going anywhere. He is that replacement for the second row, and if anything would happen to the centres, he's the one that slots in. Thomas Hazelton, he'll be part of that front row rotation, as well as Braden Hamuel-Uele. So those 15, 16, 17 are kind of set in stone. Talakai, Hazelton, and Hamuel-Uele. It's just that 14 will switch depending on what happens with the likes of Will Kennedy, Keanu Kinney, Latu Fainu, Scott Drinkwater, and Tyson Gamble. So depending on what happens with those lot, will depend on what happens with the 14. It stands at the moment what I got written down. Will Kennedy is at 18 man. Kenny's 19. Did sign a few from free agency, just as depth signings. I also think they could just kind of need a fresh start and still have some footy left in them. It could make a point of difference. So we decided to sign Josh Schuster. I think he's just too skilled to not be playing NRL. Needs a fresh start. Hopefully you can get that with Craig Fitzgibbon. And he kind of gives me the Wade Graham vibes. Wade Graham like thrived at the Sharks. So that was the thinking behind that one. He can play that 6 or that second row, or even come off the bench kind of as the X Factor. We go with Tokeaho from Catlin Dragons, who got fired after he wanted to go to a concert and lied about being sick. He's come back to the NRL. Just some leadership there, I think. I mean, his years at the Roosters, where he was, one of the best front rowers in the game, I think he can give a lot to the club. Toby Rudolph is still on the team. Again, another depth signing there. And then last one, I thought I'd just sign Kyle Oluwapu from the Bulldogs, who just got good news from the doctors. I think he's allowed to actually start training now. So I think, again, he brings a point of difference. Similar mold to like Latufanu again, is that big half. And he was one of the highly tilted halves coming out of the Broncos, coming out of Queensland, really. Played a few games for the Bulldogs as a 19-year-old, so still super young. Hopefully his injury ain't too bad. Now he's got the okay to train harder, a little bit more intensity, see what he can bring in. Maybe if preseason goes well enough, he might be pushing for a spot in that 17 even. So yes, that's the team as it stands. This Cronulla Sharks team, bit of a different look. The idea behind it was Nicholas Hines is our guy. He runs the show. You have Alofiana Blake leading up front with Jacob Saifidi, Max Plath, that ball playing lock, who can also play 9. I like my bench, quite a solid bench, and obviously we got depth as well. And then in the back's got Drinkwater, bit of an X-Factor player. He's probably the one that's either going to win it or lose it for me, really, along with Hines. We'll probably go as good as those two go. On days where they're on, I think we'll have a shot. On days where they are not, it might not. I don't know if our defense can hold up. But I think this one got denied, but I did want to sign a coach, which has never happened on the show. So I wanted to sign Sharks. I mean, Craig Fitzgibbon, obviously, defensive coach. I figured I need an offensive coach as an assistant. And I know one who sucks as a head coach, but is absolutely amazing as an assistant coach. I tried to sign Trent Barrett as my attacking coach. I think it got denied. All good. Thought I'd just try something different, Well, I wasn't going to fire Craig Fitzgibbon, that's for dang sure. I did think about firing some other coaches on here, but maybe something to look at next season, whether we start getting rid of players and coaches.
Hey,
in
brother,
the
I'll tell you
next
what,
MyGM.
if we could move coaches as well, he would have been gone a long time ago. He would have been gone a long time ago. I was talking to Sam a little while ago, man. I was like, hey, look, man, if you want to make this XYZ trade, you take Billy, you take Kev, and we can make it happen.
Yep. Hey.
He said, I don't think Kev even runs my oranges. So, shit. Look, I'm looking at your list here. I think the Dolphins ripped you off, man. You probably could have got Max Plath for a lot cheaper, considering they got Ruben Cotter holding down that 13 jersey, and they've got Blake Brayley locking in that 9. So you probably could have got Max Plath for a lot cheaper than Elliott and Hetherington. But hey, man, it is what it is. I thought you said you knew your Dolphins GM. I thought he might have hooked it up for you, but clearly he ripped you off. You gave the Dolphins a lot more depth than what you currently could have got away with. So, yeah. But overall, it makes sense for the Dolphins to move Max Plath, considering, they have Ruben Cotter. It is hard to make a lot of those upgrades when, considering at the start of the season, you had Britton Nikora, Cam McInnes. You had... who else played for you? You had Royce Hunt was there, Kafusi was there.
Trindle was there.
Trindle, yeah. So your stocks did get depleted, and that happens when it's 3 of us doing GM mode. We don't, not every person and team has a person allocated to them, so it happens. But there's a little bit of backtracking and cleaning, depleting from one strong team to boost yet another team's stocks to try and balance it out a little bit, which we saw a little bit of last week with the Titans, and then we see a little bit again with the Sharks, just going back through those stronger teams and going, oh, let me pull some of this, let me pull some of that. It's going to be tough when we get down to the likes of like a Melbourne Storm or the Canberra Raiders. I mean, with the Parramatta Eels, they're already depleted. They got bits and pieces, so you kind of just make whatever they've got left work. It's not too bad. I'm enjoying the Parramatta Eel rebuild. I know next week we've got the Cowboy rebuild, health depending. But overall, I'm looking at the Sharks build. It's not. I'm just trying to find where the holes would be. I like it though. It's not horrible. You know what I mean? And you haven't sort of. You've had your stocks depleted. You haven't depleted your stocks to build this team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of like it from what you've had to what this is now. So I wish we could kind of go next year. We'll do it. We'll put up on screen a couple of before pictures of the team list and then an after picture of the team list, so we can see whether it's an upgrade or a downgrade. And it's not sort of
I was trying to one thing I was trying to do with having 3 fullbacks is I was seeing if I could find a way to turn Kennedy or Kinney and someone else into. I was looking for either a winger or a 6. Those were like the 2 I was looking at. But then I couldn't really think of a good one, or even if I could turn like the 3 centers into one like elite center. Couldn't quite come with up, and then couldn't quite figure it out in the end. That's what happens when you leave it to the last minute. But hey, we got it done anyway. So yeah, overall happy with it. Could have been maybe did a few more moves, but
I'll give your team a B plus. I'll give you a B plus overall.
Take it.
I reckon it's a B plus worthy team. I think my Titans last week got a B plus. So yeah, I think it's like on par with that. I think you compete. You got heavy hitters. You got star power. You got some mongrel through the middle. Max Plath. He's like a, what do you call it? Like a little wrecking ball, through the middle. He's small, nugget. He makes an impact, man. So I like that signing. Overall, yeah, I think from me that's a B plus. Next week we, like I said, get the Cowboys, and then following that week I'm coming at you with the Parramatta Eels. So stay tuned for that one. It's going to be fun. I hope you guys are liking the series, by the way. It's a little bit ambitious, I think, on our part to sort of bring this to life. But it gives us something fun and something different to bring to the show every week. And you know, our Tuesday night show, you get your recap, but you get a little bit of fun, a little bit of fantasy living, and that's what MyGM mode brings to you. But now back into the world of the knowing, and also want to acknowledge, I forgot we didn't acknowledge it at the top of the show. However, last week, the Māori King had passed away, and so yeah, this just in a state of mourning the country is at the moment, and we all just sort of pay our respects to the Māori King during this time, and the whānau, and you know, all of Te Ao Māori, because his speech at Koroneihana was perfect, man. It was so what do they call it? What's that word, G?
Moving.
It's not poetic. It's not poetic, but it's got an H in there. You know, it's like poetic.
It's got an H in there.
Yeah, you know, like how prophets speak. It's like prophetness, prophetly, a prophetly speech. What's that word?
I don't know.
Like a prophecy, but it's like prophetly, prophecy.
Prophecy?
Prophetic.
No, not prophetic.
Yeah, prophetic. Accurately predict. No, it's not prophetic. Shit. It was what's that word? Like, you know, it's like a philosophy, but not a philosophy. It's something like a
philosophy, but you're losing me here, man.
Yeah, you know, me. Like it's. Gee, I can't explain it. Eh?
We'll come back if you remember it. You stop the podcast, or you let us know.
Kind of like a warning. Prophetic is like kind of a warning. He warned, you know, about things that are currently going on in Aotearoa. That you know, it was what was the word? Philosophical. That's the one I'm looking for. It was a very philosophical. Gee, I'm not good with the English, my brother.
Philosophical. You know what's crazy? Now that you said it, it's like, I get you. H, yeah, I'm with you now. But I could not see it. I couldn't see it when you started it. I was like, H, where the fuck's the H?
Yeah, philosophical.
Philosophical, yes.
Philosophical.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
It was a very philosophical and moving speech, and rest in love. Kingi Tuhetia. What a legacy. So who succeeds him?
I think once his tangi's over, they will start holding talks about who the next person is. I'm not 100% on the actual process itself, but I think other iwis can actually tunnel for it.
Oh.
So there is a chance it could go somewhere else, but I highly doubt it.
Yeah, I highly doubt it too. I feel like that's a them thing.
Yeah, I think, I'm not too sure, but maybe his daughter? Potentially?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we might have our second Māori queen. But
we
won't. I think it might take a while, like probably give it another week, possibly even 2 weeks, if not longer, for them to go through what they need to do to decide on who's the next monarch.
Are you heading over there at all? Either one of you?
Nah. I think that you've already been. Oh, no, actually, I'm not too sure. But, I mean, no doubt there'll be a strong contingent.
Yeah, I missed the boat. Everyone left. Monday morning, 1:30 a.m. is when they all left on the bus from Waitara up. I missed the contingent, but I'll catch it on TV, nonetheless. So, rest in love, Kingi Tuhetia. Back to our regularly scheduled program at the Bano. So, Thursday night banger. Next year, we're going to have an award at the end of the season for the biggest Thursday night banger, the one that just topped it off. Because I feel as the season's gone on, it's kind of just gone from a Thursday night banger to just like a Thursday night game. Like we had so much at the beginning of the year, like so many amazing games that it's hard to live up to. But in recent weeks, a lot of the Thursday night games have just been filled with errors, and this one was no different. And you'd expect, right, the Cowboys at home versus a depleted Melbourne Storm team, they should get the job done easily. Well, that was not the case. It is a final score of 38-30 with Melbourne Storm surging a large comeback, or they pretty much stayed neck and neck with them the whole way. Even with Pep coming off early in the first half with a suspected cork thigh. I haven't actually followed up with that since that game, but I'm hoping it's a cork thigh so I don't have to search, but I'm assuming it is. Cole Felt had a double that night, which we thought, damn, that must lock him in for Team of the Week. That was a great performance from an aging winger. How old is he? Because he's old, man. He's been around since like Thurston, and that's old.
For a minute. He must be in his 30s by now.
Surely. Someone Google it. Lazarus was a name I didn't have on my bingo sheet this year for a player. I think we talked about that on Thursday's show. I was going on about Young and Lazarus. Like, you can't tell me growing up as a kid you want to go hang out with the brother Young. It's just like, who? The brother Young. Like, what's his nickname? Do you just call him? Does he just become Tonomapea? Like, do you just call him Toops? Does that just become his nickname? I need him on the show so I can ask him these things. But yeah, back to the game. Reece Robson had a try, which you don't often see that from the pro, and Val Holmes had a perfect night at the boot. Wishart showed off his dexterity as a utility, starting the game off at hooker, being moved to 6 at one point of the game, and then carried on with his day. But look, man, overall, Melbourne kind of showed a little bit of scary elite Melbourne shit. You know, like next man up. Doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, what you did. Just as long as you stay Storm, you all goods. And that's kind of what they did. They just stayed Storm. They stayed true to what they do. Ali Couture, if he was on this game, he would have had a field day, bruh. Because, man, I think if Ali Couture was playing in this game, he scores a double close to a hat trick. Straight up, man. That's just how poor the Cowboys were defending through a lot of the middle half of that game. I mean, it was pretty poor on both sides, but what do you expect when the Storm's lineup is pretty well changed? You know what I mean? Like, there's whole different moves. There's people, like, playing out of position. Well, not out of position, but in a position that's not their normal. So, yeah. Full credit to the Storm for hanging in there. Cowboys do better. You got the 2 points, but yeah, do better. For Melbourne, they look ahead to the Broncos this week, and they look to sort of carry on, mahi ate mahi. Another day at the office for Melbourne Storm. And for the Cowboys, they need to do a little bit of soul-searching as they come into the finals, into the business end of the season now. They are in the top 8. They need to tidy up a lot of things if they want to go past round 1. Do I think they'll get it past round 1? Not with the way they played on Thursday night. 100%. They're just in there to make up numbers if they play like that. Luckily, they've got this week to sort that out, and then they've got round 1 of the finals. So overall, I give this game 3 stars on Thursday night. Out of a Thursday night banger, it just became a Thursday night, game. Over to you for the first game of the Friday night games.
Yes, so first game, it was at a course stadium in front of a pretty packed stadium. I think they got 35,000. They broke the record for biggest crowd for a 6 p.m. Friday night game. And of course, it was my Bulldogs up against Sea Eagles. And we start off with a hiss and a roar. Scored off literally like within the first minute. It was all looking good. And then from there, Manly Sea Eagles put on what I could only describe as a clinic. They gave us a good old lesson in how to play rugby league, and honestly, it was just, I don't even know what to say. I mean, Bulldogs made a lot of mistakes. A lot of self-inflicted wounds, but credit where credit is due. I really liked the game plan they had. Everyone's been talking about our weakness in the forwards and how small we are, but no one's been able to exploit it until last night, where they just absolutely dominated us in the middle. Taniela Paseka was a beast. I think all their forwards went for over 100 meters. He was looking dangerous. Jake Trbojevic doing Jake Trbojevic things, all the little things. Matt Lodge, I don't know where he's been this season, but he has made a world of difference since he's been in the team. And obviously on the edge, Alofiana. Not many people get the better of Viliami Kikau, but Alofiana just had his way with him in the first half. I'd say he definitely won that battle on the night, just causing carnage every time he touched the ball. We needed at least 2, 3, 4 people on him. He continuously broke tackle after tackle and was even able to get off offloads. In terms of Turbo's being Turbo, he's just great all around. Unfortunately, he did go out with an injury in the second half, looking like it's an AC joint. He will be out at least a week. I hope it's not that bad where he's out for the season. He's just such a superstar. To see him continuously battle injuries is unfortunate. Daly Cherry Evans. I said this before, man. That man loves playing the Bulldogs. He just always, I don't know, he just goes to another level. I swear, he hit us with the 40-20. Even I knew that 40-20 was coming. I don't know what Gerald Skelton was up to. As a winger, you have to be deeper than that. You have to know that DC is looking for it. But he put on a clinic. Master, his kicking was on point. They were just rolling. And honestly, even though we scored the first try, for the next 20 minutes after it, it was just all Manly. We only give up, averaging, 16, 17 points per game. They had that, before halftime? Or maybe it was at halftime. Can't quite remember. But they just had their way. They scored off set play, easy tries, and I think the way they were scoring, we definitely missed Critter. Even though it wasn't Critter's way, or they attacked Critter's side a couple times, and they attacked the other side a few times. That's what I liked about their game plan. They went at Ali for left edge, made them tackle after tackle, and Olokoatu just dominated that left side, and they had a lot of success. And then on the other side, when they did go that way, I think having Correa as centre, he's a good centre, but Skelton sometimes just gets lost. A lot of the Bulldog community have been wondering why he doesn't get more game time. Last game he played, he got like 300 meters. I think it showed against Manly. It's not his attacking, it's his defense that kind of lets him down. I'm not too sure when to hold or when to jam. He always seems just like half a second behind the play. And when you're at the NRL level, all it takes is half a second to be behind the play and you get punished. So, yes, I mean, I think for the boys, it's just a good lesson. Obviously we would have liked to win that game. It would have been a big game for us. We had all the momentum going, but, that was a real tough lesson to take. But I think the boys needed it. Hopefully they'll be better for it. It does change the things in terms of the table. There is now a chance where we won't hold a home final. From the way the standings work and who everyone's playing, we got the Cowboys next week. It looks like the winner of that will get a home final, and the loser will play the Manly Sea Eagles. Whether that's at home or at the Sea Eagles depends on whether Sea Eagles win, which I think everyone's expecting them to because of who they play. Who do they play? Oh, they play the Sharks. Well, it's not necessarily given then. They are at home for that game, though. So, Sea Eagles win. They'll be playing at home. And then, obviously, the loser of Bulldogs, Cowboys is going to play Sea Eagles no matter what. It's just depending if Sea Eagles win, they'll be at home. Sea Eagles lose, they will be away. One of the things that stood out for me in this game, and I think for everyone watching, was the defense of Ruben Garrick. He just time and time again had Bronson Cherry's number. He was able to let him go on the outside and make that tackle consistently. Personally, I think they attacked that side too much. I thought they should have went away from it and go Sexton side. But because we were gaining like 10 meters each time off that play, kind of makes sense they would always go their way. But Bronson Cherry couldn't quite get the clean break. Ruben Garrick, he had a field day. I don't think he missed a kick, and he made so many try-saving tackles. So where if he missed it, Bronson would have been away, and it would have been, a 2-on-1 with Adokar on the outside. So full credit to Garrick, star player. Well done. I'm not going to say any more good things about Manly because I don't want to. But we'll be on to the next one. Tough week for the boys. Lessons learned. We'll be back. And that is all I have to say about that.
Yeah, well, look, heading over to the next game, it is sort of a pounce back for the Panthers. Luckily, they played the sweet little bunnies. 34-12. The Panthers, no, they weren't about to lose 3 in a row for the first time since 2019, but luckily the schedule says we'll help you out. Here's the sweet little bunnies. Shout out to Tyrone Munro. He looked like the only player out there playing, but he had a reason to play. Shout out homie, he lost his moms the other week, so must be a tough thing to do was to get out there and play. But it looks like she guided him over the line twice to make up for the bunnies' poor performance, to say the least. One thing I will say for this bunny side, I think you said it best earlier on in the season, but you were calling for Jack Whiten to shift into that 6 jersey, and it's done both this team and himself huge wonders because ever since coming into that 5'8" jersey, he sort of put himself into the spotlight where he is one of the few sixes in this game that are consistent week in and week out. It's hard to find a consistent 6. Luai is one that comes to mind. Munster, when healthy, comes to mind. You've got the up-and-coming Lachlan Galvin over at the Titans, who's, creating huge waves. Then you've got my least favourite Bronco doing things over there. Cody Nikodima, he's doing randomly good, which throws me off. Dead, and so there's a handful of 6s in the comp that you can sort of go, oh yeah, they're solid. Oh, I also do like what's his name, Metcalf. He's played well in the back end of the season. At the front end of the season, I was very critical of him. I think just him and Rog trying to find a combo together at the start of the season just wasn't working, and he was running everyone out of room on that edge. But definitely towards the end of the season, he sort of really helped this Warriors side bounce back. So, good signs for them. But yeah, it's hard. And I think Jack Whiten's has sort of put his name forward as saying, yeah, look, I'm here. I'm a steady 6. I think the Bunnies, when they signed him, he was signed as a centre. And, he was definitely in mind to be their centre alongside Campbell Graham moving forward. But I think he's probably going to be 5'8" alongside Cody Walker in that 7 next year. Well, hopefully that's the way it plays out. But I guess Captain Wayno, he'll have a game plan. And, yeah, for now, that's the Bunnies all but done. They got another game next week, but it doesn't matter. For the Panthers, this kind of stopped the bleeding. They were dripping down the ladder, and they were dripping pretty fast after those back-to-back losses. This helps stop the bleeding for a little bit and holds place, because I think for the Panthers, they really need Cleary back and healthy week 1 of the playoffs, because if he's not, then the Panthers need to secure that top 4 spot in the comp, so that way they have a life. If the Panthers had fallen out, and Cleary's not healthy, 50-50, I think. I'm not too sure if this Panthers squad could do. I'm not saying that they couldn't, but I'm just saying that it would be a lot tougher of a challenge for them to sort of climb. It was a game for sure that just sort of it started as you'd expect, really, when it comes to the Panthers versus the Bunnies. 3 tries before the Bunnies even sort of looked like they wanted to have a bit of a chance. And then, second half started and Taruva gets back-to-back tries. And Isaiah Yeo sort of rounds it out, and that's kind of the way the Bunny season has been. You know, they leave it too late to start, and then they just play that no defense second half, and no defense against Panthers, no matter how injured or depleted their team may be, is still a deadly team. Shout out to the Panthers. The wheels keep on turning. Still a force to be reckoned with as they go for their fourth premiership title. That's all I've got to say about them. Moving on to Saturday, Super Saturday. First game, Eels and Dragons. What you got for us, fella?
This first game on Saturday is something else. I don't even know how to explain it. For those that got the joy of watching it, they would know what I am talking about. But the Eels and the Dragons put on I wouldn't even call it a clinic. This game looked done and dusted in the first, half. Eels came out strong like they have in the last few weeks, scoring an early try through Will Penasini. It got backed up with another try through Micah Sivo. Dragons answered back with another try, and from then on out, it was just pretty one-sided. So listen to the minutes and how these tries go. So I'm not even going to attempt to say that last name. Scores in the 14th minutes for the Dragons. The Eels go on the run. In the 22nd minute, Clint Gutherson scores. 30th minute, Jake Tungo. 36th minute, Sean Lane. And in the 40th minute, Dylan Brown. They went into the halftime with a 26-6 lead. In the game, not really. The Eels had nothing to play for, but the Dragons had everything to play for. They were in control of their season and making the 8, 2 points clear of 4 other teams who could still make it. But all they had to do was win out. They were going to be in the top 8. But if they were to lose, they were going to give those other 4 teams a chance at it. So you would think you would come out right, albeit you're not at home, but this is your season here. We've talked about that they always go win-loss, win-loss. This was their win week. So all signs were pointing to them to get the job done and be that much closer to being an unlikely top 8, or so my Bulldogs, in Shane Flanagan's first year as a coach. And to come out and get smacked like that, 26-6, well, you knew something special had to be said at halftime. And I don't know what he said, but it kind of looked like it didn't work. Because in the 43rd minute, Clint Gutherson scores. Now, Dragons scored another try in the 50th minute to Zach Lomax. We expect that. But that was more of just like formality. The game's already over. Because Micah Sivo scores his second in the 55th minute and then scores his third in the 61 minute. At this point, the score is 44-12 with roughly just under 18 minutes left to go. Done, dusted, chalk. I think Clint Gutherson, I don't know if he was nursing an injury or whatever, but he jumps off. Game's in the bag. And what happens in these next 18 minutes, I don't even know how to explain it. But if there was a team that could somehow find a way to lose a game when you're up 44-12, apparently it's the Parramatta Eels. Because what happened was absolutely nothing short of spectacular. It started with a Matthew Whaingai try in the 69th minute. That was backed up with Sloan scoring not 1, but 2 tries in the 72nd and the 76th minutes. It was literally like try, kick off. In the next set, they did 10 passes. There was one try that just went through, I felt like the whole Dragons team's hands. And somehow they find a way to score a try. But even then, you're thinking, oh, it's 1. All good. And score another one. You're still thinking it's too little too late. And then when Whaingai scores his second try in these sets, fucking stupid. What is that? He scores his second try in the 77th minute. You're thinking, still too little too late. But you wouldn't believe it. They somehow managed to score yet again in the 79th minute to give themselves at least a Hail Mary chance. They were down 44-12 with 18 minutes left to go. They scored 5 tries in the space of 10 minutes to close the gap. But it wasn't to be. The Eels who almost choked that one. And if they did, they would have definitely been the wooden spooners. But they managed to hold on, and it sets up, well, next week, really. So next week you have the Eels against Tigers in what will be the Spoon Bowl, where the winner will be, or where the loser will be, outright wooden spoon. And the Dragons, in the game where you needed to stand up the most, you put up arguably your worst first half ever and left it too little too late. And Jude, well, you'll find out what happened with this game coming up, but because of it, their season is now pretty much over. I don't even think they have it, well, mathematically they have a chance, but they have to win something ridiculous. Like, their points differential is really bad, and the teams that have jumped them, I think they either have a positive points differential or it's close to zero. So, Dragons, you had it, and then you didn't, and now you'll also be going to Bali, or wherever you go for your Mad Monday. The Eels, this was a tune-up game for next week, and if that's anything to go by, the Tigers, you might be done in the first 20 minutes, but watch out though, because I feel as though this Eels will give you a chance. It's just whether you can clutch it up or not. I guess we'll see. I guess the question is, will Mitchell Moses come back to face his former team and hand him the spoon? Who's at home for that game? Actually, I can't wait for this preview show we got coming up on Thursday, because this is the game that we'll be talking about. Apparently, it's the Tigers, so you know they're going to choke. Putting it out there early. Well, it depends. If Mitchell Moses plays, which I probably won't.
Nah, I think him, Hopgood, Geimer, Borlo, and Simonson are all done for the season.
So they want the Tigers to win, eh?
Hey man, as long as Gutho's good, they got a chance. Man. Look what happened. Look what happened versus Dragons. As long as Gutho's out there, they got a chance. I mean, I don't know how good them kitty cats gonna be after a bye, but we'll see. We'll see, man. But look, let's talk about kitty cats. The Broncos versus the Dolphins. Man, this game looked like a team wanting to get into the 8 versus a team wanting to play in their bowl game next week for the spoon. There should be a 3-way tie for that fucking spoon. Cracks me up, eh? At the start of the season, who was it? Everyone was saying Bulldogs, Dragons, and Tigers for the spoon. Only one of those teams are holding true to that title, so kia kaha. We should be down there. However, we just had a great start to the season. A start full of hopes and dreams. You know, I feel like the Broncos season this year, right? Come with me on this.
Yeah, I'm with you.
When you first get to university, right, as a fresher, first year, you know, get off the plane, you settle into your halls and things like that, you're optimistic. Life looks good. You're happy as, you know, week, first few exams and things like that. You're coasting. A couple of hiccups here and there, you know, you fail a paper here and there, you're off. By the end of the season, you're like on your last year post-grad, can't quite finish your masters, and just shit's going, just everything's on fire. Nothing's going right. You say we're almost done. If I just get this, and this done, and it just doesn't happen. Well, that's what happened. That's what happened this season. We went from a first year all the way to a failed masters all in one season. So, ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to go to university to feel our pain. You just be a Bronco fan. You're all good. Shit. So yeah, 40-6 Saturday night at Suncorp Stadium. It was the home of the Brisbane Broncos and has been for many years. But now it is the home of the Redcliffe Dolphins and Cordell Wayne. We got big man from the very first whistle. As soon as it got kicked off, we made no meters. It almost looked as if we kind of just put it... Like, what gets me is every team put an effort this weekend. Every team either punched above their weight or played to their potential and just lost in the dying minutes. But the Broncos, we didn't even show up. We just put on a jersey and went through the motions. Yeah, I'll give it, Kafusi put a high shot on Reynolds. Reynolds had to go off the field for HIA, so they lost a person for 10 minutes. We lost a half for 15, which meant Billy shifted to the 6, and Moser came on. Moser, he is the spark we need on offense, so I hope next year he gets a lot more game time. But back to this game. And then Pierre could have went down, Stags went down, so our second rowers all got shifted out. At one point we had Marty Tapau playing, we had Carrigan shifted to an edge, we had Willison playing, then we had Haas playing. So I was like, where are all these props playing? Who's been shifted where? So that was, all up in the air. Dean Mariner wasn't available for this game. He had flu-like symptoms, so he stayed back home. Not that I think it would have mattered, but Jesse Arthurs got torched on the edge by Isako. Arthurs, good player, solid player. Yeah, we need an upgrade on that wing though. He plays with a lot of heart. I think what I like most about Arthurs is when we're on attack, he's got good vision. He doesn't sort of rush things. He's got somewhat decent hands. He lets the game sort of come to him. He doesn't sort of force things like some of the other players do on our team, which is why I think Arthurs suits where he is on the wing. It's always easy, especially when we play, all these fantasy games and try to want to upgrade. But I think, he's not the fastest. His defense is a little bit washy, but what he offers in stability, that ability to sort of just, okay, sweet, it wasn't a good set. Let's just settle things down and go again. He's good for that. Because, when you look at our team, sometimes Walsh will try and force things. Mann will try and force things. Cobbo will try and force things. We need those players that settle things down. So there were people saying Arthur should get the axe after sort of leaking in a lot of tries on his edge, but it's not all his fault. Ricky got shifted to centre, and anyone who knows the last time any of our second rowers actually got shifted into centre, we just got torched. Go and check out the highlights from the Panthers game, round 2 or 3. We got torched. The Hammer had a great game. Herbie had a great game. He got 2 tries, but it's also the things he was doing without the ball or without scoring. He's just impactful, man. He was ready for this game. And I don't think half our boys were ready for this game. And I think that's the issue with this Broncos team. Sometimes they bring that intensity. Sometimes they don't. They kind of pick and choose when they want to turn up that intensity, when they want to play for wins. But also to leave your season in the balance like that, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to win. We have to go on a four-game win streak to get into the final 8. The way our season went, it was never going to happen. I think the longest streak we went on was a 7-game losing streak. So that tells you all you need to know about this team. Next season, hopefully things turn around for us. We welcome Trent Barrett coming in next year. Hopefully he can sort of figure out how to unleash this attack a little bit more. We also need to figure out how to deal with changes on the interchange when injuries occur, when unexpected HIAs occur, and how we best set up the bench to benefit us in the future, because we can't just keep relying on Adam Reynolds to set up the attack, to get the attack going, because what happens when Reynolds gets shut down, like in this game? Kaufusi, before the head shot, he was fast up on Reynolds. He had to make Reynolds think really quick and make those fast decisions on whether he's passing, kicking, or just straight batting the ball on, knocking it on, and all that kind of stuff. There are a lot of just the line speed of the Dolphins is what really impressed me, is how quick they were able to come off the line and get at us. Our kick chase, non-existent. We're kind of coming down there and stagnant, waiting for them to run 10, 15 meters into our defense. That's never going to work. If you watch last week's game, the Bulldogs versus the Warriors, same thing. Bulldogs, they're catching the ball. Warriors, no kick chases in sight. So the Bulldogs get a free 10, 15 meters running that ball up. Broncos adapted that same defense. And then, once that back line got shuffled, the forward, got shuffled out to the back line, that's when all the shape got lost. We had no real shape to this squad. Like, Payne Haas did his damnedest to try and get things going, but dude's coming off an injury. He hasn't had much game time. He hasn't had much practice for this game. and I don't think they were quite ready for the intensity the Dolphins would bring. And yes, Wayne Bennett brought some last minute witchcraft to his lineup, and showcased what it's like having a real coach take hold of your team, because the lineup we seen named on Team List Tuesday wasn't the same lineup that we got on game day. Alvarillo got shifted from the centres to 5'8". Hamiso got shifted from fullback to centre, which means Trey Fuller came into the side. O'Sullivan got moved to halfback. Then it was Tavita Pangai Jr. came up off the reserves. Hubner came in at lock instead of 18th man. Then Couture moved to the interchange. Bromwich came from the starting lineup onto the bench. Ray Stone went onto the bench. And Jeremy Marshall-King came up off the interchange. And that was actually a great move for the Dolphins too. When Jeremy Marshall-King came on, he sparked a little bit of life in the side. It's just, a lot of things. I think the Broncos just, chalk it up as a loss. That's the season over. At least you don't have to worry about next week versus the Storm. And the Storm can kind of think whether or not they want to rest players. It doesn't really matter now. It's sort of a write-off. But the Broncos, what I hope they do next week is give Blake the starting jersey, give Ben Tekuta a run, rest Patrick, rest Adam, rest Payne, because season's over. You might as well give your key boys a rest. There's no point rushing Katoni Staggs back. Pia Kura, they're both under observation at the moment, whether or not they'll be healthy, but we'll find that out after Team List Tuesday tonight, and we'll have a great breakdown show for you for that. But look, Dolphins, well done. You guys played your hearts out for that one. The fans loved it. It was a great game, not going to lie. Dolphins, just like the Bulldogs did, just executed their game plan to perfection versus a team that looked like they had no game plan. And I think that's just been the difference this season, is just having a team with a game plan versus a team without a game plan. And 9 times out of 10, if all goes to shit, you go back to the basics, go back to that game plan. And if the game plan's solid, then you've got that safety blanket to help you through the week. But look, it's been a tough year being a Broncos fan. New season next season. Hopefully they debut that jersey they teased on their social media the other week. It's a sick-looking jersey. Dolphins, I have a sneaking suspicion. I could be wrong, but that just, to me, that felt like the Dolphins grand final. That felt like they played their heart and soul out, and that was it. They left it all out there. Can they back up that same performance next week against the Knights? Maybe. But we'll find out, and we'll go more into that on Thursday's show. So make sure to come back for Thursday's show. But Dolphins, congratulations. Well done. Huge victory for you guys. And good luck with the rest of the season. Over to you for Sharks versus Wales.
Yes, so the last game on the Super Saturday.
But do you want me to, you do half, I'll do the second half.
I can do the first half? Yes.
And I'll do the second half for you.
It was, of course, the Sharks and the Warriors. Obviously, it was Shaun Johnson's last game of his NRL or professional footballing career, and it was somewhat fitting that it was against his former team, the Sharks. And what a game it was. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, Fano. A little bit tired at this point. But I thought I'd watch the game and see how it goes, and Shaun Johnson started off, took us back to his earlier days. We would just whack half the team to set up the first try for Luke Metcalf. It was looking like great signs until it wasn't. From then on out, the rest of the first half was pretty much pure domination on the side of the Sharks. They looked well in control, well-oiled machine, and the Wars really couldn't do anything. And that is showing in the halftime score, which was 22-4. One of those tries came on pretty much the stroke of half time, where it was like an 80-meter breakaway. Can't remember who did it. One of them got a breakaway in the Sharks half, and then the Forwards followed it up pretty much. But it wasn't looking good. That's all I know. I mean, I thought, the Wars, they did come to play. They start off great, but the Sharks just kicked it into gear, and it looked like is going to be quite one-sided. So much so that I decided to text the chat and let them know that this game's over. I'm going to bed. And I
An
did.
hour too late.
Yes.
An hour too freaking late.
So
you
I
should have
did.
done that in the first game.
Look.
Second game.
And it is what it is. I mean, it was late at night at that point, so I generally went to sleep, turned the TV off. I thought I'd be waking up to the continued domination of the Sharks over the Wires, but apparently that's not what happened. So I'll head over to Rawiri and you can fill you in on what I missed as I was sleeping.
Look, I'm going to preface my outburst before, man. If you guys don't know, last grand final, Tu said the exact same thing when the Broncos scored 3 tries versus the Panthers in the grand final, and the rest is history. He went to bed and the Panthers came back to win. Couldn't go to bed, during the Dolphins game. That one was fucking over too.
I thought about it. I thought about going to bed.
But no, look, it looked at halftime, right? You look at it at halftime, 22-4. She's all over. That's all she wrote, sir. But Dylan Martinez-Lesniak decides, I'll put on my best. My bro's retiring. My other bro's coming to this particular club. I'm going to turn up. So Dale comes out and, he gets the Wires on the board first. Gets the first try in the second half. And they kind of feel a little bit of a momentum shift. And if you don't know about that momentum shift here in rugby league, it's hard to get. And it's harder to get from the Sharks. Because when the Sharks get it, it just feels like it just keeps rolling and rolling, man. Like that tide just never turns. But somehow, some way, I think Shaun was able to channel his inner Shark. Because, ladies and gentlemen, he was a Shark. He's a former Shark player. So this was sort of a home game for him. Field he's played many a time. So, yeah, man, and it just started clicking for them. Marcelo Montoya, I thought, actually had a pretty solid game just running the ball. Dallin had a great game finishing. Shucks, I didn't realize he scored. No, there's too many hyphenated names. I'm reading Charles Nickel Clodstad as a freaking Dylan Martinez. This is just, like, it should be the Warriors hyphenated. Like, one New Zealand, hyphenate Auckland, hyphenate New Zealand, hyphenate Warriors. That's their team. They're just the frickin'... Yeah, anyway. Then Kale Iro in the 60th minute decides to go, you know what, I'm winning Rookie of the Year. Bang! Null and voided. He got sin-binned, and that pretty much takes him out of contention for Rookie of the Year. He was all but locked in, and we were talking about that in the group chat too. We were like, oh man, Kale Iro for Rookie of the Year, and we were like, oh yeah, then bang, guess not, Fano. And then it was up until the end, I think it was 26-28, and Metcalf goes to line up a 2-pointer. Bro, just whiffs on it, man. It almost gets over, and I'm like, bruh, that's a kick. And then the Warriors get down there. Some penalties happen. It's like a back and forth at this point. And then there's like, what? Yeah, inside there was the error, the Jack Williams error, and then they get 10 again from Blake Brayley inside the 10 meters. And the clock's ticking. They're like just shimmy, and then Shaun Johnson with a little bit of a rainbow pass over the top out to Dylan Martinez-Lesniak. He still had a little bit of work to do, and he kind of just puts the ball down. The clock's still ticking, but the Warriors don't care. They didn't take that final kick. The Warriors win 30-28. Now everyone's calling it a fairy tale ending to Shaun's career. No, it ain't. You telling me that man wanted to end his career in the regular season? Who the hell goes, gee, when I grow up and I retire, I hope my last game is a win in the regular season. What about the playoffs? We don't even make it. That's my fairy tale ending. Bruh, nah. That's the shittest ending you can ask for. Yeah, you win, but you're not even contending, my boy. That's not a fairy tale ending. I'll tell you a fairy tale ending. Fairy tale ending, it will be going from that number 8 seed and winning all the way to the grand final. You win that grand final. You play the Kiwis tournament at the end of the year. You win that tournament, and then you walk out a happy man. That's a fairy tale ending. That's how you end the story. Not beating the Sharks at home 28-30 in a game that has no relevance to you. You just fucked up the Sharks finish. That's all you did. Don't tell me about no fairy tale ending for Shaun Johnson. I guarantee he didn't want to win there as his fairy tale ending. He wanted to win last week, but you just let him down. You just let him down. Anyway, you know what wasn't a letdown? Knights versus Titans. You want me to do this one or you do it? I can do this one. And you do the last one.
Yeah, so there's...
Easy. So, ladies and gentlemen, been high on the Knights after watching their game last week versus the Bunnies. This week, I was like, let's go. Man, that first half was boring. It was tough to watch, man. I was waiting for the excitement, those highlights, but like we said, not enough ball to get around. We wonder that because Bradman Best made his comeback and it just looked a little bit stagnant. Like both players are trying to get involved. Few errors here and there, but Kalen Ponga sort of off the back of Titans errors made those breaks, and Kalen did get those finishes, but the line breaks came from other players in the team for him to get that sort of him and fullback, pass it off to Ponga, and then he gets over the line. So there were some great line breaks from the Knights players. They played together. They played as a team. They sort of let the Titans back in at the end there, which is why it was 14-36 instead of 4-36, which it could have been. Fletcher Sharp just keeps getting better, man. 3 tries. Could have gone for more. Definitely glad I kept him in the MyGM mode. It was very early in his ascension to popularity. He could have definitely been traded away back then, so I'm glad I kept him. He's probably been shifted from bench to starting wing instead of Oblak's Tofa. So, yeah. We're slowly piecing that Knights team together. What I liked about this game, though, is the Knights have sort of put themselves in contention for that 8th seed. Now, next week, it is the Mamba Bowl. I call it that because they're playing for the 8th spot, which is Kobe's number. Sam Teraki doesn't like it that much because he's a hater. That's what happens when you're a green Celtics fan. You just hate anything to do with the late, great Mamba. So the Knights, I think the Knights could actually get up over the Dolphins. Whose home game is it? Let me just double check real quick. They have the Knights at home. Ooh, last game of the... Ooh. Damn. That's spicy. So you're not even going to know who gets that 8 until after that last game. So you got to stay tuned at the final. That's spicy. We'll give a good breakdown for that one. But yeah, this game, Jojo Fifita showed that I think he's the better winger in the Titans. Alofiana Khan-Perira is the better finisher in the Titans. I say that because Jojo, he can sort of get the runs going and still bump and fend off. He can sort of create moments. Alofi, he likes the broken play, and he's his top finisher. So give me Jojo Fifita as their better like complete winger, and Alofiana Khan-Perira as their better finesse finisher type winger. Yeah. Knights at home in the Hivers. Weird combo, man. Weird combo, but it is what it is. They like to do that. I don't know what the Titans do next season. They've had an up and down season. I know next year they welcome back 9-year Tino Suamaliaui back to the squad. Look, man, it took me a whole season, but I finally got there. with 10-year Tino. But yeah, we will be doing in the off season a breakdown of all the teams' needs for next season, what they need to improve, or what they kind of need to have a go of it next year. So we'll save that for off-season stuff. But that's all I've got for the Knights and Titans. Good luck, Knights, next week as they take on the Dolphins. Or this week, sorry, as they take on the Dolphins. As for the Titans, that's us cuzzies. Where we off to? Majariba. We're going over to frickin' Sunshine Coast. What are we up to, brothers? Hey, party on. Over to you, brother, to round out the weekend.
Yes, the last game of round 26 was hosted at Allianz Stadium with the Roosters going down in a close one to the Raiders, 12-14. There wasn't really much to play for in this game. The Raiders came into the round of things went their way with a chance to make their 8, but with the Dragons losing, the Knights winning, and Broncos losing, essentially it ended the Raiders' season. They still have like an outside chance to make the 8. I think they need which one is the Dragon Knights? They need that game to end in a tie. So they both get 1 point. And then the Raiders need to win because they have whoever they have, they just need to beat them. And that's the only way they make the 8. But other than that, their season ended before the start of this game. And I tell you what, the boys were saying it, the Raiders are a different beast when their season is over because they put on a show. They came out strong and they came out fast and they, in a lot of ways, smacked the Roosters. And they like to smack them more than once because of the injuries that happened. For the Roosters, this was a nothing game anyway. I think if you won, you jump to second on the ladder, but your spot in the top 4 is already entrenched. But honestly, this game might be what defines their season, as they had not 1, not 2, but 3 players go off the field, and 2 of them in particular are looking really, really bad. It was quite early in the game. I can't remember what minute. I want to say maybe the 20th minute, where Sam Walker. It was a funny play, actually. I can't remember if it was a chip he was chasing or was the Raiders. It was on the end goal, and he just got caught in the awkward position, and his knee kind of got hyperextended. Well, either got hyperextended or got crushed. Either way, he fell straight to the ground. It didn't look good from the offset. I mean, he could barely move, and
it's a suspected ACL.
Yeah. So either way, he's just done for the season, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's an MCL, so it's not as severe, but I don't think there's any chance of him coming back.
Yeah.
Radley's off for a suspected AC joint injury. Raps is off with a fractured cheekbone, which probably the end of his NRL career.
Mm-hmm.
And who's the others?
It was Brandon Smith. He went off as well. There was Elliot Whitehead, considered it was a hip drop from memory.
Yeah, landed on his knee or his leg.
And it was a pretty bad one too. So Elliot Whitehead got sin bin for that. And then he decided he wanted 10 more minutes in the bin later on in the game, where for some unknown reason he thought he could karate kick the ball out of Angus Crichton's hands. He barely made contact and he got sent to the bin for that. So yes, Roosters, unfortunately they didn't get the win, but what's more on their mind is the loss of very, very key players. Now the question has to be asked, do we think they can win without Sam Walker, without Brandon Smith, and potentially without Victor Radley?
Yeah, well, because this is a question I want to ask you too, bro, was it worth it? Like, they fielded this team. They didn't need the win.
Yeah, I mean, they were locked into top 4, but I think they were playing for that home final. I think that's why they played everyone. And also, when you're in form and when you're clicking, why not just keep the ball rolling? You never know, right? You never know what's going to happen on the field. Anything can happen. Those injuries were just kind of unfortunate, but yeah.
Because for me now, they went from favourites, like I had them versus the Storm in the grand final together. They went from heavy favourites, in my opinion, and I'm not an expert, to now maybe second round exit. Because they get that first round walkthrough. Because Suali'i, he's still not 100%. He's got that neck injury that came up in training that he was unsatisfied with. He is due back for the last round, but if he's still not 100%, that could be done. We don't get Koro back until after the first game, after the first round.
Yeah.
So they're going to need him to stay healthy and to stay penalty-free. Because I thought, man, that's a fairy tale finish. What he was kind of lining up to do was to get to the grand final on the back of this Roosters team. That's a fairy tale finish. But now it's looking like it's not quite achievable. And if it is, it's a big mountain to climb.
It's going to be hard for them to go forward with this. I mean, Sam Walker was in such fine form, and he was pretty much the chief playmaker, right, calling all the shots. Luke Keary would chime in here, and Teddy when he had his moments, but it's just hard to see where they go. It's a tough one. And I'm with you, man. They went from being one of the favorites to win it to where do you go from here? Hopefully they can stand up and people can step up to the plate and get them through, but you just never know. I guess that's something for us to talk about in the next episode. But just quickly going on to the Raiders, that they did it again, right? I think, when was it, last year or the year before? They knocked the Roosters out in the playoffs, and they've given them another dose of a defeat, towards the back end of the season. It's a good way, for some of their players who are coming up to the end of the career. Elliot Whitehead, one of his last games, they might have been. I'm pretty sure he's probably going to have a meeting with the judiciary tonight. And yeah, that might have been his last game. Unfortunate for Jordan Rapana to go out the way he did with a fractured cheekbone. He didn't really last too long as well in this game. But Joey Tarpinen, man, he was a beast everywhere. His bone-crunching tackles, he led from the front. I do think they were deserved winners from the bits that I watch. They took their opportunities when they came. They defended wave after wave of the Roosters' attack. Although the Roosters' attack kind of went sideways when Sam Walker went out the game. They kind of wasn't as organised, and they went back to what I thought, playing like individual football as opposed to a team. But when you have so many injuries to key players, you kind of...
Yeah, it's hard, eh?
Yeah, it's just really hard. So unfortunate for the Roosters. Good way for the Raiders, though, to, although their season is over, to get their dub and get it done. But that's all I've got for you, really.
Well, looking at it, we've got an injured Roosters versus an injured Panthers if all things get wrapped up the way it is this week. So, who knows, bro? Who knows? It could go either way for these two teams. An injured Roosters, I think, could still beat Cleary-less Panthers. But I think, Panthers at home, it's a tough beast. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting few finals. But make sure to join us as we take you on the road to glory. We'll come up with a better name for it, but we'll get there. But that was this round's games. Look, man, we'll quick fire. We'll do two this week. We'll just do two random players. We'll see how good you are this week. Just off the top of the dome, random throwback player. Who you got?
Fuck, man. This shit again. That's not how bad I was at it last time.
Yeah, man. Look, we got this. You want me to start? I can start with one.
You could start, go in the middle, and finish. Random throwback player or just random player?
We'll go random throwback player.
Oh, shit. Alright. You start.
Alright, my one is Matty Sharma.
I don't even know who that is, brother. Fucking hell.
He's like he played for the Titans. He had the headgear like the Filipino guy.
Is that a Filipino guy?
Yeah, geez, Matt Sharma.
Matt Sharma.
I told you, man, random.
Who's...
I'm pretty sure he took frickin' what's his name's role for a little bit. Nathan Friend. And that's
really?
not friendly to the... Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was the one who took his job.
Yeah. Random throwback. I don't know if it's yeah, only because he played for my Bulldogs. That's the reason why I know him. Kieran Holland.
Yeah, okay.
He's
Okay.
his claim to fame is he made the winning kick on his debut, and when they asked him about it, he said, "Oh, it was always going over." And I think in that same week, Tamati Martin made his debut, and he got like the game-winning play. And when they asked him about it, totally different answer, humble as. And I played the clips like next to each other. You just have Tamati Martin in his debut say like, "Oh, I never think I was going to make the team. You know, glad I got the call up, and oh man, I never know what happened, but glad to get the dub." And then you skip to Kieran Holland's one. Yeah, no, it was always going over. I had it in the bag. I was like, fuck sakes.
Gee, hey, well, there we go. There we go. There's your random player. You probably win that one. We'll give it to you. My last random player. Give me Nathan Gardner from the Sharks. There's fullback there.
Fullback there, eh?
Yeah, back in the day, man. Back in the day. See,
the
ladies and gentlemen, this is going to bring you guys some random pub quiz ammo. Of like, oh, name me one random Sharks player from like 2000 and when was he there? Maybe 2011. We'll say like 2011 through to 2014, 2013.
Well, shit. I got nothing for you there, mate. Who's another random player? Throwback that I can think of. It's hard because I just try to think of anyone as opposed to like picking a team and then seeing if I can like think of a random player from there.
Yeah, see, I go teams and then I just try and go down that list.
Yeah.
There's a few more Titans I can pull out the bag in the near future, but yeah.
Of course, see, I don't even have one in the chamber. I'm trying to stretch one together here, you know. You just got like a whole stack of them.
Yeah. Nathan Gardner's not as deep, luckily, as Shane Shackleton was.
Oh,
that was a deep cut, eh? That was a deep cut.
No one, mate. Man, we might be here a while.
Come on, you gotta have something. Just pick out a team.
Oh, really?
Pick out like Canberra Raiders, and then just go down the line and random Raiders. You know.
The only random Raider I know is I can't even say his name. He had like the weird ass. Oh, I think he was a half too. I mean, I remember like Tom. Is it Tom Campese? No, that's league. That's Aussie, isn't it? That's rugby.
You're thinking Terry Campese.
Yeah. Fuck it out. That's what I was thinking of. But I think his name it's similar to it. I can't remember it.
What? Tom Leroy Lars?
I don't even know who that is.
Damn.
That one.
His son plays for the Cowboys.
I've got nothing, man. The only one I had before was who I was going to say instead of Kieran Holland was Jamal Idris. But that's because of his hair. It always cracks me up and how fat he was.
I feel like Gardner wins because like Idris, he's still known enough because he goes to the Titans. Nathan Gardner, I don't even know where he went. I just know he was at the Sharks. I don't know where he went after that. Did he go anywhere? I don't know. We'll have an answer for you on the next episode of the practice run. Now after the random players, we're over to the team of the week, giving the flowers to some of the best players of the round. And do you have the list in front of you, brother?
Which one are we doing?
Team of the week, brought to you by OPSM. They sent me a voucher for $100 off to celebrate my birthday this month. When you on a complete pair of glasses, when you spend $400 or more in store or online at OPSM, you know what? I'll tell you who needs a bit of these. The TMO and the All Blacks games. Even though some of these players some of these referees are sponsored by Specsavers, quite ironic, isn't it? But head out to OPSM. OPSM, all about your eyes, and fill out your details, and they will give you $100 off to celebrate your birthday. It's actually just a con. They always have discounts and stuff like this available to you. If you're a Southern Cross member for health insurance, you get discounts at OPSM. If you are a regular customer, they give you discounts, but they always have discounts going. It's like the Briscoes or the EB Games of Glasses World. You guys wouldn't know because you aren't visually impaired like Rawiri is. But yeah, they always have these discounts. They just lie and they always knock prices off and stuff. It's just to get you to spend more money. But you know what's funny is I always get these vouchers and I'm like, I don't need new glasses. I have a pair. And then I break my pair. And now I'm like, oh, I wish I had a second pair. So ladies and gentlemen, head out to OPSM. This is who's not sponsoring our team of the week this week. So, have you got the practice run team of the week up?
Yeah, I've got the team of the week.
All right. You do the forwards, I'll do the backs.
Sure.
Okay, sweet as. So, starting off with the fullback, we've gone with the old man, Clint Gutherson. We gave it to the old man because once Koro came off, bro, the Dragons came back. We've got Fletcher Sharp with his 3 tries against the Titans, and we've got Dallin Watene-Zelezniak on the other wing with his 3 tries versus the Sharks. In the centres, we have Herbie Farnworth and Ruben Garrick for their big games against their respective teams. And in the halves, we've got Jake Averillo and Shaun Retirement Johnson.
For the forward pack in the front, where we have Joey Tarpany, and he is paired up with Taniela Paseka. Your number 9 for this week is Tyron Wishart. The second row is Ola Kawatu with his dominant performance, and Britton Nakoda. And your number 13 for your team of the week is Isaiah Yeo from your Penrith Panthers.
Nice, and shout out to OPSM for not sponsoring their team of the week. Now we head over to the practice runs power ranking brought to you by 99 Dreams, inspiring you to chase your dreams. And if you want to help us chase our dreams, head over to 99dreams.co.nz. Pick yourself up one of these caps, a baseball jersey, or some of the remaining hoodies that we have left on the site. That's 99dreams.co.nz. Go check it out. So your power rankings for round 26 sit like this. So because there were so many losses in our top 4, we kind of went like this. Melbourne at number 1, Panthers to number 2, up from number 5 this week. The Cowboys jumped from 7th to 3rd. The Eagles from 6th to 4th. The Raiders from 9th to 5th. The Knights from 10th to 6th, the Sharks from 4th to 7th, the Roosters from 2nd to 8th, and the Bulldogs from 3rd to 9th. The Dolphins up 1 spot to 10th, the Eels up 3, 4, 5, 6 into 11th. It's so weird seeing them up so high. That's why I had to stutter when I counted it. The Warriors are up 3 spots into 12th. The Tigers had the bye, so they remain at 13th. The St. George Illawarra Dragons dropped down from 12th to 14th. The Titans dropped down 1 to 15th. The Broncos take the biggest fall from 8th to 16th. And the South Sydney Rabbitohs hold out the bottom of your power ranking for round 26. Ladies and gentlemen, we are 1 round away from the end of the regular season, and then the road. What are we calling it?
I don't know.
What is the trophy called?
I wouldn't have a
It's the
clue.
Pro Van Summons Trophy, eh?
It's the one with the 2 hugging each other. And then,
Yeah, the Pro Van Summons. So what do we call it? The road to the Pro Van Summons? That's too long.
That sounds weird.
That's too long. What do we call it?
Give us another week to think about it. We still got another week to go in the regular season. We'll get it.
And then follow us on the road to the ship.
To the what?
The ship. The Premiership.
Not about that. Follow us to the road to the ship, because it sounds like it's like, what? Are you a boat or a car? I'm confused.
We're both. What about they can see this live, raw, and in action here on the practice run. What about no, we can't say the road to immortality because that's a whole other award. Join us on the end of the road. You know what? Join us on Thursday, and we'll have a conclusion for you. But right now, it's join us for the road to the next road to the playoffs, road to road through the playoffs, road to the finals.
Oh,
Anyway, find
man.
us here on Thursday night, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back. We'll be more coherent. Hopefully, Sam is healthy and ready to jump back into it by then. He is sorely missed. We miss his takes, his waffling, and his hype up his Tigers. So come on back, brother. We'll have you back ready to go. For all our fans around the globe, shout out to you guys for keeping us going for 26 rounds. It's crazy. Also 60 episodes in. It's crazy, bro. 60 episodes. Man, it felt like not long ago we did 50. Sorry, we got to 50. So it's crazy. So for all of you guys, continuous support. Thank you all so much. Come back on Thursday. I'm going to throw it over to Tu for the final word. Sure.
As always, we want to thank those who are supporting us both near and far. I really do appreciate the support and joining us on this journey on this road to somewhere. We'll figure it out.
It's the road to journey, G.
Yes, it's the road to journey. It's the road to, I don't know. But yes, it has been a long episode, and yes, we are so close to the end of the regular season. One more week to go, and it's pretty hard to believe that, we've come this far. We are coming towards the end of the season, probably only a month left in terms of rugby league itself. What we're doing in the off-season, we will figure that out. We've still got the representative season as well. And as always, if you want to come onto the show, be a part of this community, that's what we are. We are more than open to it. We definitely would welcome some more guests on the show to give their thoughts and insight into either their team or what we've got to say, or if they have a hot topic, more than willing to go over it. Yes.
Before we wrap up, I just want to say I broke the curse. I put $10 on South Africa. It didn't pay out much, but I broke the curse. We are now 1-32 this season, ladies and gentlemen, versus the TAB. A small win is a big win. Let's call it.
You heard them, man. We finally got one in the bank. Stay tuned for our episode on Thursday where we're hoping to go more than 1-32. We're going to start adding wins to our TAB column because that's the money we're going to hopefully use to get us overseas one day. But at the moment, we ain't going nowhere. It's not happening. But we'll get better, promise. But look, we're going to leave it there. Oh, actually, Terry Kempese did play for the Raiders, but he played there for ages. He was always injured. But the player I was thinking of was Clinton Chafosky. I can't say the name. But he played there for a few years as well. Like, I think I remember him because of his last name. Like, I didn't even know how to spell it or like pronounce it. But yeah, he was also like a duo, like played rugby and rugby union or league and union. But yeah.
Yeah.
I had the face, but just didn't have the name. Yeah.
My future 1G is going to be Liam Ison. He's going to be my future random player. In the future, they're going to be like, yeah, who's your random player? Liam Ison.
Okay, yes.
Play for the Sharks.
Yes. And I'm going to be like, who the fuck is that? Is that the guy you traded for?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we'll wrap it up there. We will see you again on Thursday. Until then, be safe, whānau. Cheer to the cheer. Mā te wā.